Right, hello, welcome back everyone. We are continuing with the hot and wet map. So just the usual recap, those of you not watching religiously, we have 4 million tiles, 700 towns, and I'm making reasonable progress on that one, almost 80% done, and I haven't started on anything else apart from absolute minimal diamonds just initially to make some money. Now, where's the actual window? There you go. So when we started, I had said that I was thinking at the time that doing the passenger services is going to be about 30 odd episodes. Um, we'll see. These guys really hate me, which is not shocking, but we need to make them unhate me. Pronto. Well, not that pronto, because this is secondary, so it's fine, that's secondary. At the Why is everyone going to depot? Probably timetabling. Whatever. Guess they're going to depots because trains do that. Okay, I'm almost done here. My bad. But there's a fucking building here. Great. In which case, there's a building there. Oh my god, they're everywhere. Not even religious. Yeah, it's funny because if you read whatever sort of literature floats your boat, they, especially sci-fi, they always try to substitute the whole God context with something. Um, and it's not even the oh my word, but like in in a lot of Asimov's book, like instead of God knows or gods know, you have stuff like stars know, only stars know. And it's one of those oddities in pick any language, not just English, that I've never been religious in my life. And I don't tend to say God only knows because I very consciously attempt to avoid saying that. Uh, Semi-sarcastically goes against my religion. But like even if I said something like stars know, I mean, stars, I think we can generally agree they're not living creatures, um, unless science is massively missing out on something, which of course, you know, unlikely. Not in this case anyway. Um, so they can't know Ethel. So who knows? But yeah, you get the idea. Like substituting certain very common colloquialisms is it's actually funny or challenging or both. 6, 7. There you go. I don't want to go down the whole thing, but this I could do. Would be overkill. Go off that way. Don't care about this. No. Um. Okay. Nope, not that one. Mm. Okay, so we're generally talking to myself at this point, but we're working on this stuff. This is the last one. Why don't I hook these together? Why do that? Light overkill, but I mean overkill in terms of we're not doing this particular part of the map, but I don't think it will hurt anyone. At least these guys get a little into the circle of life. Which I'm not a huge fan of Lion King, and I think the whole song about the circle of life is one of those oft ignored bits that, you know, circle of life does include death. No, it's not much point. Lazy head. Hey, look, they named a town after me. No, I don't want to save. I think we just continue up. The cat is up on the kitchen worktop. The cat knows that the cat's not supposed to be on the kitchen worktop, but she also knows that I'm not going to pause the game and go argue with her. Okay, I don't even know where she is now. Well, she knows that I'm less likely to bother her about it. Often tends to poke the cat a lot more. Like she gets upset about the cat being up there. I don't care. I mean, I don't see the point of bothering. We keep the kitchen as cat safe as we can. Beyond that, when I'm sleeping, cat does what she does anyway. There's no point in arguing with her. I mean, yeah, if you've ever had a cat, they don't give a fuck. I think I'll do the station Aki, and then we can go off that way and come off this way, and this is totally pointless. Oh, it's 3. It's also 3. I don't know. Eeny, meeny, miny, moo. You. Dusty head, tickle head. Derp head. Okay, go. So you're lost. Yes. Shut up. That was expected. Now they all want to go off that way. So I'm talking to myself here, but I've done all this. Do this because it doesn't go anywhere. And there's the cat. Still walking in the kitchen top. Now staring at me and coming and meowing because she demands pets, but she's going to get those later. Plop in a bunch of these. Ooh, it's a pretty shitty layout. Okay. Now I need to pause the game because now the cat did the bathroom break and I'm dying. Give me a sec. Little gremlin doesn't cover her shit. And then just drop dead myself, that is. Okay, I said 2, 2. That would be 3. You know what? Go away. And go. And then we need 7. Said 7. No, 6. Remove these two. 7. Build. It's supposedly playing. I mean, we're doing soundtrack for their holiday sort of game, but to be very honest, I don't so much mind because I shuffle between the two maps a lot, and well, no one has complained so far about the wrong music. So occasionally you get Scottish music on what's supposed to be an African map being played with South American game trains. Occasionally it's the other way around. So that's done. Go off this way. Do I? I mean, I will have to, but I want to put it back towards Hiddywick. Mind you, mm, mind you not, because probably I will want to put some train station-like thing here, and the last thing I want is a tram line coming through here. So it stays as is. Okay, I need to start behaving. Mind you, there's a long stretch of stuff here. The stuff that's otherwise referred to as road. And with this, we'll just do it like that. Still thinking, if I did well, now I'm going to probably revamp this later. I don't think this is going to work. Might put an airport here or something. But okay, this I made. And then I can put a railway station here. That's actually not too bad. Mm. Okay, it's fine. And then this, I really don't like these freaking things congregating there. Okay. So that's done. And I'm still double quotes building this. Why don't we pull it up a bit? Okay, I mean that's clearly not going to fly as is. Yeah, welcome to my world. Okay, this is not entirely working. I can tell you I don't want that. I should want to go down this whole town in some such manner. Mm. So I could do that. Oh yeah, sure, why not? Casual £2 million. But Before I do anything else, these need work done, being working on. These need working on. I say I need more coffee, but it's almost midnight, so probably not. Minor overkill. I could just demolish a building, but I don't want that. They, fine. I mean, as well. In which case, no, remove 6, remove, build a new one. Mail, Turk, no. I'm not going to bother with any of these because I think at the moment I have between 0 and very few other road vehicles. You need to do that. You need to do this. You all need to GTFO. Mm. Mm-hmm. Go. I'm thinking that we could just basically make this like so. Vaguely unrelated. So I mentioned a bunch of episodes ago that the country I was born in was going to have elections, and I generally don't want to talk about politics in this game because it's divisive and has very little to do with transportation. Well, I mean, strictly speaking, politics has a lot to do with transportation and the other way around. But anyway, point being, the opposition has won supermajority, which is shocking. Without making any comments on that, I mean, it's not shocking. It was relatively surprising, though. Good. Let's just leave it there. More to the point, how it connects to the whole topic of transportation. The new PM announced most of his ministers by this point today. And one of my childhood acquaintances who lived on the street I lived in, and I'd known him when I was a teenager. He is going to be the Minister of Transportation. Small world. That I don't want. I'm going to do the loop like this because that leaves me with surprisingly decent amount of space. Muffin wick. I mean, he's not a kid anymore. He's mid-40s. I guess you can guess. So am I. So the kid, uh, he actually had done like he's always been a transport buff, and when he was a teenager, and that's how we got to know each other. Apart from living on the same street, he started and led the urban and suburban transport alliance, or whatever the hell it was. Wasn't much an alliance, it's the word. Group. I don't know. I'm lazy to look up what the English word for players. It's a bit obscure anyway. So like initially we like he organized uh, depot visits and visits to um, the parts of the metro system that were not public, like the underground hospital and yeah, nuclear shelters and all this shit. Very fascinating. I keep pressing the wrong button here. And then eventually they, as in the group of people, that the word I keep not remembering. Do I really? I can't put that here because there's a building. Um, hmm. Okay, I want to do things a little differently because then I might be able to put a station here. Ow, my list is not happy. Yeah, so they did a lot of advisory group work for the City Transport Limited. And then, you know, he's actually the nephew of the outgoing PM or some such. So he was made at the age of give or take 20, the director of the City Transport Limited. And everyone thought I was being done because, well, nepotism, which it may or may not have been, but he was outstanding, especially for his young age, or especially considering his young age. And how much time do I have? 24. I can do this. And then when, like, he totally revamped the night transportation in the city, like in a good way. It was outstanding. I don't want this, but this is missing. And so he became way too popular and way too, wasn't powerful as such, he was just popular. And there were rumors that maybe he could challenge the PM himself, which I don't think he wanted to. I'm not sure anyone thinks he wanted to, mind you. But anyway, so he was delegated to be the head of the Transport Museum, which was like everyone understood why that happened. Like just he was shoved back into hiding. And even there, he did a really good job. And well, now he is Minister for Transportation. Okay, there's nothing here. And before anyone bothers to ask, no, I did not congratulate him because we haven't actually spoken for the better part of 20 years. And on the one hand, I'm not convinced he remembers me. On the other hand, even if he did, I'm really not the person who's like, hey, you're famous. Good work. I just casually ignored you for 20 years. I can't stand those people. You know, you either care about someone or you don't. Okay, this is bugging me, but I'll leave it. We can keep Betty. Well, it's going to be some such loopity. So this would be ideal, but it's not going to happen. That's 2 is 2, everything's 2. Needs a connection. Before I do this, I want to put down the stops because I want to... Actually, this is a little more ideal. 7. Okay, off we go. I was thinking about recording yet another episode, but ain't happening. I am deaded. Thoroughly deaded. Okay, so I have vehicles doing this. So we do that. Be here. Yeah, no, I'm not doing one more episode because now I'll be up until actual midnight, and by the time I sleep, blah blah blah. Usually takes me forever to fall asleep. I'm a shit sleeper. When I was a kid, you could nuke the place I would sleep. Like once when I was about, I don't know, young, like give or take 10. I grew up in one of these high-rises, the typical like panel car type high-rises. It's the large panel LPS type prefab stuff, very common in Eastern Europe. And anyway, I wake up one day and my mom's like, "Oh, you slept okay? You didn't wake up." Blah 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 blah. Well, I'm like, "What happened? You know, why is that relevant?" Or blah blah. And TLDR, some drunk dickwad set the place on fire. The top 2 floors of the neighboring building, and this was well before the internet came along. In fact, well before mobile phones came along. So yeah, people were apparently escaping onto the roof and screaming, and I'm waiting for this to, yeah. And I should probably do this so I can pull this out. Like firefighters eventually showed up, and well, anyway, it was a big chaos. I was sleeping like a log. Now, if I fart, I'm wide awake. Mm, okay. Every so often, the cat decides to wander around the hardwood floor, which gets up there quite creatures. Let's just face that. Guess who's awake? Me. Okay, that's a 3. Also 3. Not going to have any better. Goes out that way. It would be a 4. It was a 4. It's not. Nope, still not. So that's done-ish. Probably about 15 minutes. I could do these. That would be like if I did that, that would probably cover most of the time left in the episode. Yes. 225 tons of fruit. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. 225. I mean, this is large, really. 3 male L. And then what we'll do is shared orders, page order. Let's see, you are probably new. I'm just going to shove everything above 60 here. That's there you go. And place you lot. That would probably go into 49. Everyone go get serviced. Light their vehicle. I think these are medium, and that's fine because most of them are. Why are you stopped? Stop stopping. Go going. When I was learning English, I know that in many of the Germanic languages, there's the concept, like even in French, future is being expressed similarly to English, like going to eat. But that's not necessarily the physical movement involving your feet and legs. It's just to say that something is going to happen. Exactly that. But in many other languages, that's actually very obscure. And so when I was learning English, I remember one class, it was, I'm going to go to the cinema or something. And I tried to direct translate that, and it made precisely zero sense. Like, going to go, but I kept assuming that going to was walking. So in that respect, going to go was a double movement, which of course it was not. Time 12 minutes. Yeah, no, I want to get out of this chair. I'm not a chairman. Well, I mean, I do sit way too much. The obvious issue with that light rail vehicle is the size. I'm not even sure it fits in the stations, stops, and whatnot. And the layout here is just abysmal. Um, I shall. Oh, it's half abysmal. I'll put that here. Ecob, no. Joy Feng Jie, still no. Ecob apparently exists. It's a thing. Oops. It's two everywhere. That would also be a 2. Mind you, I just made that into a 3. 7, remove. 6, 7. I have no idea what that is, but don't be there. If I ever finish these games, I will probably do a much smaller map and just railways only. Like strictly railways only. And I want more of these because There's absolutely no way this is going to be enough for that distance. I'm trying to gauge how many episodes this whole thing might take. At the moment, I don't know, because I like my guesswork was that Passenger and Mail was going to take 30 odd. Let's for a moment assume I was correct. So we have 700 towns using 2 cargoes, but they have to be connected to neighboring things, which is actually easier because there's less complication. So that was 30-ish. If I have 1,500 industries, many of which don't produce, so let's just say another 700 things, a lot more cargo types, 100, 3,000. So this would be more sensible. I don't know, 200, 150. And the map generation is shit, which is really not helping. So I'm going to say 200 episodes. I mean, it's obviously 200 hours for me. Hey, it's just a bit more than a week. Just no sleep, no eat, no poo-poo, no nothing. Realistically, I mean, I don't actually know when I started this. I could check, of course. Do I want to do this? I do not want to do this. Keep staring at my phone. How many minutes I have? 5. It's actually more like 6. Well, here's the thing. If I did that, yeah, so I should check when I started this game. But I think about 2 months ago. So I managed to do 30 episodes. We're not doing that. In 2 months, then where did you guys come out? I don't know. Should be done towards the end of the calendar year. I'll see. Because I'm a contractor. See how my contract extensions go. If it gets extended, I have whatever amount of time. If it does not get extended, I then have more time. Tunnel. Can't see shit. These stupid objects. A bit stupid. Mind you, it's pretty quiet here. I've not seen the town for a while. I know just drove past one or whatever. If you can hear that, there's some idiot on a motorbike out there making an awful lot of noise. Okay, I think um well, here's the thing. I can probably do this one. 1500. Oh fuck, this hasn't been done. So that's why I don't like skipping towns. Now I have to go back there at the end of the episode where I have a minute and a half left. Me no like. Okay, GTFO. Yeah, there's always something. Init. At least with this one, I can actually, if I was to do that, it's a bit of an overkill, but if I did this and put down 3 and 2 and 36 seconds, I mean, it's not really a hard limit. Most of the games are somewhere between 53 and 55 minutes. What's the next one? That's not. So that gets updated. That's upgraded. Yeah, time up. Oi, set time up. You know what? I'm going to stop right here. And then I shall hopefully remember what it's doing. And with that, I'm going to do almost dead. But if I don't do this, I'm just going to save that again. You overwrote it. Good. Yeah, I don't know. When did I start? Doesn't have an actual date stamp on it. I mean, I could just check the date stamp on the actual file, but it doesn't show here. Okay, fine. Well, thank you for watching as always, and I shall see you whenever next time is. Any thoughts, comments, likes, whatnot, let me know, please. Thanks for watching.